I think they're in a good frame of mind. When you're 0-0, the coach and the players and everybody's happy. And so I think they're in a good frame of mind.
How much preparation have you guys done for this? I mean, you said last night on that radio show you've done it for about 10 or 11 days and really thoroughly. So what do you see from them?
I think they're good enough to win a national championship. Aaron Kraft is an All-American. Deshaun Thomas is an All-American. Sam Thompson was a top 30 recruit coming out of high school. Shannon Scott was a McDonald's All-American in high school. They have really, really, really good players. And I think if Coach Mata talked about himself more, like a lot of other coaches in our industry, he would be revered in a much different light than he is. You know, he's played in one championship game. He's been to 2 Final Fours. He's been to 1 Elite Eight. He's been to 2 Sweet 16s. His record is phenomenal, not just at Ohio State, at Butler and at Xavier. And I think he does an unbelievable job of recruiting, but I think that there's a lot of execution relative to their team.
How are you going to prepare Junior and Derek for playing against Aaron Kraft? He's one of the more pesky defenders in the country.
Yeah, he may be the peskiest defender, if that's the right word. He is tough as nails. He plays to his ability and overachieves within that ability nearly every single possession. I have the utmost respect for him. I've never seen him play live, but I think that Junior and Derek will be able to compete against somebody that they know is going to give his absolute best every possession.
Buzz, how do you prepare your team for this game in the sense that it's veterans in country, it's a big atmosphere, a different atmosphere on a ship, and obviously the shooting background is more like a big arena, like when you get in the NCAA tournament or when you play in a big arena?
Well, number one, they have to play in that same environment. Number two, I don't know if they're, Lance, I had it on my calendar to try to have a couple of workouts in September and October outside, but the only thing that we could find was concrete. And I was scared with the health of some of our knees and feet. I just didn't want to do that. We practice tomorrow at 2, and then our shoot-around on Friday, I think it's at 10:30. The problem with that, I think we'll be adjusted to the floor, and it's outside, and all the fanfare that goes with that. But we play the game Friday night, and so we're playing under those like pop-up lights, and so I think that is different. They have to shoot in the same setting, but I think just the experience and what it represents in and of itself is something our guys will always cherish.
It's quite an honor, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm very humbled by it all. Just to be able to be in that environment, on that stage, for that purpose, for that reason, to help the Wounded Warrior program, even some of the families that I've met leading up to this, the press conference that we had in New York. We're doing a clinic tomorrow for children, and I don't know which squadron it is, but there were like 160 families represented that have been gone on some mission that just got back this week, and we're doing a clinic for those families tomorrow afternoon after practice. So I think there's layers of things that we can learn from and grow from, and maybe appreciate in a manner that some of our kids probably have never been in a position to learn to appreciate. So I think there's a lot of good stuff for it. I wish we were playing like you and a couple of these guys. Yeah, that'd be a good way to start.
Do you get the sense that the guys have kind of wrapped their head around all of it yet, or will that happen when you get out there?
No, I don't know. I think they're excited, but they're probably most excited that they're wearing cameo uniforms, But that's most kids. I think we have a really good crew. I think they're very respectful. But we're taking a broker arranged because I wanted to do it. We're going to take a tour in the morning of the USS Yorktown, and those people are actually going to give us the tour because we need to learn something, other than they just put a court down where airplanes normally are. So I don't know that they have wrapped their brains around it all, but honestly, I don't know that I have either. I mean, I probably know a little bit more, but I think there's a lot of good stuff that'll come from it.
You touched on it a little bit, but it's been a while since Marquette's played such a top-tier opponent right off the bat. What kind of challenges do you think you might run up to playing a top-ranked team right off the bat. And
Well, I'm just glad that we don't have media availability until after Maui. Is that right, Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys ask all the questions you want right now, because we're 0-0 and we could potentially be in a jam after Thanksgiving. So I don't know that you can turn down an opportunity to play in this kind of event. Like I said, I wish it was against Lance and his buddies, but much respect to the Ohio State, and we're playing a school whose first word in their institution's name is that a preposition?
Probably not the best person. V?
Yeah, what is the?
Article.
Article. I prefer to play institutions that have a direction first, like northeast or southwest. I like those teams first, but it'll be all right.
You mentioned meeting families and getting to know people about this. What does it mean to Derek's family? Obviously, his parents have been so involved in the military.
His recruitment was about as straight up as it could be. Like, not that we're doing anything wrong with anybody, but I mean, like, when you shake Derek's hand, that's the deal. When you shake his dad's hand, that's the deal. There's no hullabaloo, there's no hype. That's it. And, he came, I guess it was 3 years ago now when we were scrimmaging. We scrimmaged Virginia here. And I still remember it. So we get through with the scrimmage. Of course, I have no voice, and I'm spent. And so we go up into my office, and I go, "What do you think, Mr. Wilson?" "I like it." I'm thinking, good. Yeah, "Derek, what do you think, pal?" "I like it." Yeah, that's it. That was his commitment. Like, that was the end of it. And he is so disciplined in who he is as a person. And even when you watch him play, he knows what he's not good at. He knows where he needs to get better. But he's very disciplined in his approach in everything that he does. Not going to see him have bad facial hair like I do. Not going to see a hair out of place. He's going to show up and go to work every single day. And that's the way his parents raised him. He's lived literally all over the world. And so I know that there's a lot of meaning for his family, specific for Derek, by playing in something like this.
I know last winter you mentioned on the TV show that he took one shot every 26 minutes, and that was one too many.
Yeah,
so
good.
When he talks about gaining confidence back, what have you seen from him this summer? I know Homer said last night his jump shot was completely different.
Yeah. Number one, I think that being able to work with our guys in the summer, even if they mechanically don't improve a part of their game, their shot, just being able to be in the gym with them is really healthy. Having said that, every coach did that throughout the summer. But for me, I let our assistants do all the work. And I told our guys before we ever started the first one, we're going to go 4 times a week, and we're going to go 30 minutes, and we're not going to do one team concept the entire time. We're going to devote the entire 8 weeks that we're allowed to work with you to your game, to your improvement. We're going to invest in you. I'm going to be in the gym every single time you're in there, and I'm just going to be a cheerleader. And that's literally all I did. And I don't know if that's the right approach. Some teams were doing offense and defense, and it's such a long season. And I think kids are just like we are. When they feel like you are investing in them, they want to invest in you. And particularly if you're dealing with good people. And Derek, a lot of those guys, I think Vander shoots the ball better. But we spend an inordinate amount of time like, shoot, shoot, shoot. And we're in there with them. And that's different than you going down there with them to shoot. You know what I mean? And so I do think that it's better. Once every 26 minutes, though, is probably still about right.
Is that it? What's
One more.
yeah, one more. What's the effect?
None of you guys ask a question? He's asked 8 out of the 11 questions. 8, 1, and this is your second.
I had a
Yeah.
follow-up.
That's what I'm saying.
What's
Oh,
the
you asked one.
What's the effect on the
12
court
questions.
of not having Todd out there, and how do you see, different guys filling in to replace those minutes?
Well, I think he would have had a distinct role on our team. And up until Tuesday, he did have a distinct role on our team. Obviously, we hadn't played a game yet, but there are minutes that will have to be absorbed by the rest of our team. Similar to when Chris got out, all you guys, or some of you guys that were here, well, when's he coming back? Well, he's not coming back. And you guys thought I was trying to hide something. I wasn't trying to hide it. If you'll do your research, there's a lot of guys that play without an ACL. And because there's varying things that happen relative to eligibility, I wanted to see if we could get Chris to a point where he could continue to play. And even if you're not, you need to strengthen your quads so that you can absorb the surgery and your rehab is on a much faster pace. Devontae goes down, and we lost 2 games, I think, when Devontae was gone. And literally every time I saw you guys, you're like, when's Devontae coming back? And I was like, I don't know, but I thought you guys would be happy we won. So I understand that it's a question that has to be asked, and I'm willing to answer it. We will absorb what Todd was going to give us. Does it change the complexion of our team? Yes. Does it make us better or worse? I don't know. We've yet to play. So I can't compare the two. You know what I mean? Last year we played with 4 different teams, and so we could always go, well, this is the sample of what we were like with this grouping of guys. When we play on Friday, it's game number 1, and Todd's not going to be with us, and so we're going to play 200 minutes amongst the 11 guys that are going to be there in uniform, and we'll see how it plays out.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach.